Hey, this is Michael Lindsay from Vital MX. I'm here with Colt Nichols of Team Honda HRC. Does that feel nice to say?
It does, yeah. It's different. I never thought I would, be in that situation, but no, that's a good sound. I like it.
Even though you've been riding the bikes the last couple weeks, the photo I saw you the other day, something about the Honda wing hits. Yeah. Like the only other I seen the fresh jersey with it. Yeah. It's like complete.
Yeah.
Complete.
No, it looks good, man. We've been working on that for a while, and it's all come together really well. I'm pumped on my setup so far, and it's been new but exciting.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've noticed is, Honda boys all kind of, you have the Lawrences that kind of do their thing. Chase does a lot of his stuff in Florida, and then you got kind of your group with your guy Jordy, with Will. I see you guys kind of meandering around SoCal a little bit, hitting different tracks. You're not just locked up at the Honda track. I'm sure from the outside in, probably a lot of people think, oh, Team Honda HRC, it's serious, everything's like this. But seems like it's a good mix of them working with you, but also you being able to do, I guess, what makes you work, what makes you tick.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, I kind of told them, we were here preseason 21 with Star, and we had a lot of success going to different tracks. Yeah. So we tested a lot, at different places, and we weren't just stuck to Yamaha. And I kind of came in, I was like, hey, I think we should move around quite a bit if we can. They were really keen to do that. They wanted to do a majority of the testing at Honda, which we've done. But as soon as we found something, we immediately took it somewhere else. So I think that was good for us. Will, he's been a big fan of that as well, trying to move around a little bit, and he takes his guys there too. So no, they've been good, man. Jordy has been he's been pretty awesome for me, coming in and kind of setting the tone, and just making sure like he's always there if I need something. He just wants to see me improve, and that's pretty nice. Really reassuring for me. So just a really, really good squad, and yeah, we've been trying to linger around a little bit if we can.
What'd you think of the HRC bike when you first got on it? What, I look at bikes and go, man, what aspects about them fit the guy? Like when you got on it, what do you feel like complimented you, or what were you really stoked on?
Immediately, I think was just the engine package, like how rideable the 450 was. I developed or helped, kind of set up that Star bike a little bit back in 20. After I got hurt at Salt Lake, when I came back, I started riding that bike. Did a lot of engine testing, a lot of suspension stuff, so I was able to kind of fine-tune that a little. So I had a little bit of experience with that, 450-wise. So coming into this, riding it, I was like, wow, this is just a really rideable bike, and which makes it a lot easier to race on the 450 side. So I think the engine package was really, really good. It was just getting the balance of the bike better for me. That's been the biggest focus so far. But now I feel like we've kind of tackled that. So just putting in laps now, trying to make sure that we do some reps, and yeah, haven't changed anything in about 5 or 6 days. That's the longest we've went without doing some big drastic change. So we're able to put in laps now, and I feel good with where we're at.
So you were on Yamahas for a long time. I think of them as a little bit more softer, comfortable chassis in some ways. Honda's a little bit stiffer, a lot of weight on the front end. When you say balance, did you like end up slowly squatting it at all? Like, did you try to relax the feel of it, or were you stoked on the how much front end bite it has, or kind of what were you looking for when you're talking about balance?
A little of both, really. It's just kind of funny because like most of the guys that have been on this team for 5 or 6 years, or been on Hondas at least. So I think with Kenny, he had kind of a unique setup from what I've been told. Obviously I don't know, but Chase and him were kind of differing opinions on bike setup, on how the balance, how they wanted it. Kenny, I think, had it a pretty soft front, a really high, stiff rear, pretty rigid in the rear. So he was really big about hand feel. And for me, coming in, I'm going from an air fork to a spring fork. And so this bike seems like it turns too good. I'm trying to like kind of lower the rear, rake the front out a little bit, stiffen it up. Pretty drastically has been the biggest move so far. It's just getting the bike overall stiffer. I think it was a little too soft initial feel outdoors and Supercross. So just going stiffer, trying to have a little more hold up in the front has been the biggest key. But I feel like we found that really well. So it's been good.
Nice. I'm trying to think of how to ask this, but like straight up, I guess, expectations. There's a lot of people from the outside looking in that would be like, man, this guy's got Supercross only deal on HRC. That's a lot of pressure. It can't be. But me and you have also already spoken, and considering the year you had coming into this, I don't know if the pressure is really weighing on you. It seems like you're just super grateful and happy for the opportunity, but now that it's settled in for a while, do you feel that pressure? How do you manage your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, like, a lot of people have asked me, the expectations for the year, for the season, for A1, and I just have a completely different feel than I've ever had. In the lights class, I looked at myself as a guy that it was win or bust last year, and it busted. You know, if we did not win, it went bust. So that was not ideal. But you know, for me coming in this year, it's given me kind of a new perspective, and I want to enjoy this process, enjoy where I'm at. I don't have that pressure of somebody like Chase, even where they're like, this is our guy that can go win this title. You know, I hope I can really surprise people and open a lot of people's eyes to how good I can ride this 450. But for me, the expectation is to go in and just be at every race. I think that's going to be huge for me. And once we start to, you know, get through the West Coast swing, we start to go to the East Coast. Those are, you know, tracks a little more up my alley. I like the traction, you know, towards Indy, Houston, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just want to get in there and try to see where we fit in. I don't know where that's going to be. I have no idea. You know, for me, this is my first week where I've got to really ride with Chase and do some motos, so I kind of know where I'm at up against him. And he's a pretty damn good gauge. He's about one of the fastest guys I've ever seen. You know, doing practice and like how good he does everything form-wise is to a T. So good guy to gauge off of, and especially with the Lawrence brothers too. So I'm happy with where I'm at. I feel like we need the month of December to really be where I want to be, but I'm also looking at this as big picture, 17 rounds. You know, I don't want to be peaking at A1. We want to come in and just get our feet wet and hopefully build.
Not to hop too far into the future, but have you even thought about outdoors yet, what that might look like if there is an opportunity? I imagine, you know, God forbid somebody on the team gets hurt, there's opportunities, but have you guys had that discussion yet? Do you kind of know where your path might lie when Supercross does come to an end? Or
yeah, not even a little bit. We've been going about as day to day as we can get, you know. So for me, the focus now is just the bike. You know, try and get myself a little more comfortable, try and understand what we're doing a little bit more here, and I haven't even thought about it. You know, we just want to get to A1, get through the Supercross season, then the rest kind of takes care of itself. So we'll see. That's the plan so far.
Cool. Last one for you. Speaking of East Coast, I think of guys that are pretty good to gauge off of. Your longtime friend, Oklahoma boy, Trey Kennard, team. He's main test rider. How's that been to get to link up with him, and specifically because he's working on the bike setup here? That's what you're working on now.
I know,
to be able to bounce that all off him. I know he's walking around with a little bit injured chicken wing this trip, but still, has that been a nice little bonus?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I mean, that's something that never in a million years would I've thought could have happened, you know, like working with Trey at this capacity. So like I said, it's all came kind of full circle. You know, he was a hero of mine, still is. So to be working with him here in this aspect has been really, really cool. Like I said, something I never thought would happen. But he rode this bike for a few weeks, did some initial testing, got injured. Then the team kind of looks at me and they're like, hey, we're going to put, you know, a little more weight into what you're doing, which I personally liked. You know, I want to get to know the team, the bike a little bit better, do all the testing we can possibly do. If it helps me get more comfortable, perfect. If it helps Chase, then perfect too, you know, so which seems like it's been the case so far. I'm happy with the things I've came up with, the things that have been introduced to Chase. It's been a really good mix. We actually like the bike setup pretty similar, so everything's been working pretty cohesively, and I'm pumped. But it's been really cool to work with Trey. Really cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
Of course, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it.